Hello, I am your Photoshop instructor, Patricia Holmes, and we are continuing working in Chapter 11. The author is now going to have a sample, the green color, and the author is introducing us to a new type of brush. It's called an erodible tip, And these are symbolized by looking like it has a pencil tip, because what the idea behind the erodible tip is simply this. As you wear down, when you start, like with a pencil, when the tip of a pencil starts wearing down, the stroke gets thicker. That's the idea with the erodible brush. If you continue to work on this erodible brush, the stroke will continue to get thicker. So we're going to choose the erodible point from the shape menu. So let's come over here to erodible point from the shape menu, and we're going to change the brush size to 30, size 30. So let's come over here to the size and choose 30. Oops, 30. Good. And the softness value determines how quickly the tip erodes, so the higher value results in a faster erosion. So let's make this really high because we're going to simply show the purpose of an erodible tip. So as you continue to use this brush, the tip is going to get thicker because it is eroding like a pencil. So that's one of the lessons. If you're following me in the book, I'm on page 297. And what we can do here is I'm going to bring this back into the screen. We can, if we want, if it gets too thick, we can sharpen the tip by simply clicking sharpen the tip. It's kind of like sharpening your pencil. And yeah, so so we're done with this lesson. Let's move on to the palette. The palette is really fun. So let's come over here. I want to make sure I open up layers because I want to show you something. We've been working on the background layer. Now we want to move over to the paint mix layer, because if we work on the background layer, we're going to get the brown to come through, the brown from the palette to come through, and we really don't want that. So make sure you zoom out enough so you can see your whole palette, which I have. And we want to select the paint mix layer, which we did in the layer panel. And we want to use the eyedropper tool to sample the red again. So let's go ahead and grab this eyedropper tool. Let's come over here, sample the red, and click OK. So I got red on there. And we're going to select the round blunt brush in the brush panel. It's the 5th brush. Let's click here to open up the brush panel. Let's come on up here to the 5th brush. Hover your mouse over it, round blunt. We're going to choose that one. We're going to select wet from the pop-up menu in the option bar. We're going to choose wet, which we have. And we want to click the clean the brush after each stroke icon in the option bar to deselect it. So we want to make sure it's deselected, which it is. So now we're going to paint in the circle here. Woohoo! Look how beautiful my artwork is. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're now going to use the eyedropper tool and we're going to change it to blue. We're going to come over here to our blue. Get that sample, hit OK. And then we're going to paint in the same circle, and we're going to be mixing the red and the blue until the color turns to somewhat of a purple. So I'm painting, and it is turning somewhat of a purple. Look at that Picasso masterpiece. I just think it's awesome. Let's go outside the lines just for the fun of it. Okay, purple, there. Just like the authors asked. And then, so what we're doing here is we're using wet to mix these two colors. So next we're going to use the eyedropper tool to sample the color. In this case, it's going to be the purple. So hang on one second, I'm sorry. I lost my space here for a second. We're on page 299. So we're going to paint the next circle by using the sampler. We're going to get that purple. We're going to hit OK. And now we're going to paint the next circle, and we're painting purple because the paint stays on the brush until you clean it. That's one of the lessons here we're learning. So we're going to paint this. And in the option bar, you can go ahead and choose clean brush from the current brush load pop-up menu. So that's right here. So you're going to come down here and you're going to choose clean brush. So now we have a fresh clean brush. And to remove the paint load from the brush, you can choose clean brush in the options bar if you want to keep that constantly clean. Okay, let's move on. Choose load brush from the current brush menu. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to choose load brush. And we want blue. Now we want blue. So we're going to come over here and we're going to choose blue. I'm going to grab a sample of this blue right here. And I'm going to come over here, I'm going to hit load brush, make sure it's loaded with blue. And now we're going to paint just part of the circle blue. We're going to paint part of the circle blue. And then we're going to sample the yellow. We're going to get some yellow. Right here. We're going to click OK. And we're going to paint over the blue with a wet brush, and we're going to mix the two colors here. So we're going to come back over here. We're going to paint and we're going to mix these two just like this. This is fun. And then we're going to hide the circle layer in the layers panel to remove the outlines from the palette. So go back to your layer panel, and we want to hide that circle layer to remove these colors. Okay. So the author is having us mix also the red and the yellow in this last circle here. I'm going to have you do it. But when you're done mixing the red and the yellow right here, go ahead and make sure you hit File, Save. So that concludes our lesson for Part 2. Thanks for listening.